The next generation of console gaming has officially arrived, with the Xbox Series X and S and PS5 now available worldwide. And while some things will seemingly never change, there are a few trends that we'd like to see die off in the coming years. Let's take a look at 12 of them here. AAA games with microtransactions. It's been said multiple times, even before AAA titles inevitably raised their prices to $70. But having microtransactions in a full-priced game, even if they're optional or cosmetic, just feels excessive, whether it's Watch Dogs Legion, Marvel Avengers, or NBA 2K21. And now that games cost more, it's all the more irritating to see some publishers, like Take-Two Interactive and Activision, jump through hoops to justify price increases while continuing to peddle microtransactions. Though unlikely, one can hope that AAA titles are free of such nonsense in the new generation. Product tie-ins for exclusive content. Before Marvel's Avengers released, Square Enix tied up with several companies like Verizon, Virgin Media, and Intel for exclusive skins tied to various offers. It was kind of funny and sad to see Captain America done up in Virgin Media's colors. But then you could also get a legendary artifact from 5Gum, because why not? Halo Infinite followed suit with the product collaborations as well, working with Oreos for an in-game armor coating, Nerf for weapon skins to go with the physical items, and the usual double XP codes with Monster Energy. We know it's the Fortnite era and tying up with various brands for cross-promotion is the thing, but it's already getting excessive with some of the bigger releases. Platform exclusive features. Yes, we get it. Spider-Man being exclusive to Marvel's Avengers is a matter of Sony having the rights to the character. But exclusive content for some games on certain consoles continues to be an annoyance. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War not only offers a timed exclusive mode in Zombies Onslaught for a year on PS4 and PS5, but also additional loadout slots and double XP weekends as part of the PlayStation Advantage. Microsoft purchasing Bethesda, which could see many titles like Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6 have better features, possibly even some exclusive content on Xbox Series X and S, doesn't rub us the right way either. Perhaps it'll go away as time goes, but judging by the past generation, probably not. Shabby Switch ports. Terrible ports of high-profile games for the Switch is hardly a surprise. Whether it's pitiful efforts like FIFA 21, which is last year's release with barely any changes, or last-gen titles like Payday 2, the Switch seems to get the short end of the stick when it comes to ports. Granted, even Nintendo's own titles have had trouble getting over the limited hardware, and if there's a demand, then we can't necessarily fault companies for trying to cash in. One can only hope that the rumored Switch Pro manages to address some of these concerns. Cross-gen support. To be clear, I'm actually a fan of certain titles being available for PS4 and Xbox One, along with the Xbox Series X and S this year. Why shouldn't more players be able to enjoy these games? However, it's obvious that this isn't something that can continue long term. Developers won't have the resources to support previous gen platforms for years, and may want to take advantage of the improved performance that next gen offers sooner or later. So sure, bring Horizon Forbidden West to the PS4 and Halo Infinite to the Xbox One, but maybe recognize that such a strategy will be less and less feasible as the years roll on. Lack of 60 FPS. I can handle some next-gen titles like Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales having a native 4K resolution and running at 30 FPS because, well, it's 4K and there's a dynamic 4K mode that runs at 60 FPS. Upcoming releases need to similarly embrace 60 FPS modes more than ever, at least as an option. Yes, it could mean potentially lower resolutions like 1080p or 1440p. As time goes by, developers will become better with optimizing for the hardware, so 60 FPS as an alternative shouldn't seem like such a big pipe dream. Confusing console names. Coming up with catchy console names is hard, but it shouldn't be this hard. Take the Xbox for instance. When the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S received prices and release dates, it was the Xbox One X and Xbox One S that were trending on Twitter. Some customers even purchased an Xbox One X instead of an Xbox Series X, and while that's very well their own fault, the confusing names just seem unnecessary. Don't even get us started on how Microsoft initially stated that the new generation of Xbox was just called Xbox. Crunch. As time goes on and games get bigger, the fallout from crunch is becoming more prominent. The effects of overworking employees, especially when it's forced, either professionally or emotionally, is evident considering how high the rate of burnout in the industry has become. Even if games like The Last of Us Part 2 and Cyberpunk 2077 end up being good, there have been numerous examples of crunch and bad management leading to troubled releases like BioWare's Anthem or Activision's Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. With the issue seeing more attention going forward, one helps that unionization in the industry picks up steam and companies are more considerate about turning their employees over years. Yearly sequels. Crunch is one thing, but yearly sequels are quickly starting to wear out their welcome, which, granted, was a given even when the 7th generation arrived. Some titles like Assassin's Creed have managed to go against the grain with Valhalla releasing 2 years after Odyssey, but then you have series like FIFA, Madden, NBA 2K, and yes, even Call of Duty that never fail to miss their yearly mandate regardless of the number of issues they may have, because that microtransaction money is all that matters. Seasons. It's one thing to release balanced updates and patches for a game after launch, but does every game need to release fixes and new content on a seasonal rotation? Does one need to wait until next season before worthwhile activities are added to Destiny 2? Why even have seasons for single-player titles like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that will go away once the season is over? It continues to boggle the mind, but once again, Battle Pass money, so what can you do? Loot and RPG elements in every game. The sheer number of titles this past generation that overemphasize the same for the sake of player retention, whether it's looter shooters like Destiny 2 and The Division 2, or open world games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, is just too damn high. With games like Ghost of Tsushima and even Assassin's Creed Valhalla proving that you don't need excessive grinding to have decent progression, perhaps more publishers will take note of this in the coming years. Disastrous launches followed by overhauls. One thing that will seemingly never change is releasing a game that's absolutely terrible at launch and then devoting huge amounts of resources to fixing it. No Man's Sky, The Division, Destiny 1 and 2, Diablo 3, Anthem, Marvel's Avengers, the list goes on and shows no signs of letting up. Don't get us wrong, it's great that some developers are making the effort to improve their games rather than taking the money and running. But in some cases, it would be great to just receive a good product at launch rather than having to wait for it to get better a year or two later.
And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.